Hello, life. Joy to see you. This is Derek with Denver Yoga Underground. Today, I'll share what I consider to be one of the most cornerstone teachings in yoga philosophy. Cornerstone in that it upholds the pursuit, like it explains kind of the deeper why behind a lot of the methodologies, and what's more, its utility or value in helping me and others to make daily choices is extraordinary or exceptional. And it's a pretty simple idea with big implications and complex dimensions depending on how much we want to unpack it. So my purpose today is to provide kind of the user's manual version of understanding a teaching called the three gunas. The three gunas. And this word guna means like trait or attribute or attributes of nature. So these are the three fundamental ways in which nature expresses him, her, itself. Right? And the two main arenas we can investigate the gunas or look into them for examples is both psychologically, so our interior world is shaped and colored by the gunas, as well as environmentally. So the outer atmosphere can be colored or conditioned or molded by a particular ratio of gunas. So they're always in combination with these three gunas are always in combination with one another. They're said to be like the braids of a rope. You can't just extract one out and then you're only left. It's just various ratios of one guna or another. Their names are Rajas, which is the energy of activity and movement. The other one is tamas, which is the energy of density or inertia. And finally, sattva, which is the energy of lightness and purity and insight. So psychologically, a state of tamas would be one of heaviness, density, inertia, maybe even depression, difficulty getting off the couch, or just dullness to the point of like, I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to keep doing this thing. It's all I know, right? There's not a spark of insight or inspiration. It's just this kind of numb monotony, you could say, or there's like a weight to it. And the nature of rajas is variability or movement. So a example that would be like passion or enthusiasm, like moving towards an objective. Now it's not you could be moving in either a tamasic direction or in a sattvic direction. Tamas is rajas, the energy of movement and passion, enthusiasm. Its job is just to roll, and it could be pointed in a constructive direction or destructive direction, in a sattvic direction or a tamasic direction. It is primarily concerned with activity. Its agenda is not one of fulfillment, but rather just to keep the game moving. That's it. So examples of this psychologically could look like, when I accomplish this certain thing, I will have a certain level of satisfaction. Or, when I achieve X possession, then I'll be happy, then I will be fulfilled. Right? And we all know that this is like a dubious proposition, but it's very seductive nonetheless. And it is the mark of Rajas Guna. Anything that's like temporally aimed at the future, like, oh, it's going to happen over there, right? Whether that's accurate or inaccurate, is an expression of rajas. And tamas tends to be more weighted in the past, like, oh, these things happen to me, and therefore, and this is the only thing I know, and it goes like that, right? Sattva is the energy of lightness, of purity, of insight, of clarity. Like when your intuitions are accurate, it is a reflection of an increase in sattva dosha, or sattva element, sattva guna. Yeah. Like premonition could be an example, or just an ease and a fluidity and flowing, or like the ability to like higher insights, meditation, etc. Now, all yoga practice, classically speaking, whether it's asana, pranayama, meditation, theory, devotion, are all intended to increase sattva, to increase clarity and lightness and your capacity for insight and discernment and making the right choice at the right time in the right way with the right amount of energy, right? This is all reflective of the nature of sattva. And as a practice, we could say yoga is the reduction of both tamasic tendencies as well as rajasic tendencies. Now, the human being is a mixed bag, right? We have certain momentums of tamasic and rajasic and sattvic, and it can feel like we get conflicted at times, right? Like, ice cream tastes good, and then sattva's like, yeah, but I'm allergic to dairy, and then rajas might say something like, yeah, but it's all good, let's go for it, and dive in like that, right? Just like that. Just like that. So the weight of the gunas, the gravity of the gunas, that they can there can be some tension around them. And the process of yoga is to move more and more in a sattvic direction, to make sattvic decisions, to do things that support our health and well-being. And a regular practice is a cornerstone of that. Final point. They are ubiquitous. They're everywhere. So I've yet to come across a decision in life or a moment of reflection or a moment on the couch or a moment of extreme enthusiasm that wasn't in some way colored by the gunas, right? So this is one of the most fundamental baseline kind of roadmaps that we can hold up to any life experience and kind of predict the future, right? If we make tamasic choices, we'll get tamasic outcomes. If we make rajasic choices, we'll get rajasic outcomes. And if we make sattvic, which invariably is probably the most difficult of the three for most human beings to choose, you'll get sattvic outcomes. You'll get peace, you'll get fulfillment, but you're going to have to trade off kind of the enthusiasm and the yay and go get them, and like sort of the excitement that comes with that, that's short-lived and is not always what it promises to be. So the decision to choose peace, to move towards sattva, requires a lessening of the other gunas. And believe me, there's plenty of attachment and desire and momentum and so forth built up around those things expressing itself. And it's what keeps the whole show of life experience, the big top of me and mine and that and drama and success and failure turning like that. And yoga is really about freedom, ultimately, and really, right? So getting off the hamster wheel of the other gunas and trading them in for peace. That's the jam. Peace, my yoga friends. God bless you on the path And there's a bell around here, or a like, a thumb up thing, or a comment thing. Curious to hear your reflections. Always welcome. Best on the path.